Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Holosun 507K. All right, so that's the Micro Optic. I have it here on my everyday carry. So this is a Polymer 80 PF9 SS. So basically it's a Glock 43 clone. All right, so I've been carrying this for several months. Oh, let me show you what this looks like. This is the red version. Get behind the camera. So you got my sights aligned there. You can see how the 32 MOA circle sits on top of them. Okay, so that's the red version. All right, so that's what I've been carrying for a couple of months. And soon after I built that one, I basically got another one. This is the green version. I have it on the this woodland camel colored frame over here. Really cool. So let me show you what this one looks like in green. Oh, yeah. There you go. All right, so you can see how the how I have it, the 32 MOA circle sitting on top of my sights. Okay, so that's the green 32 MOA circle. I use it 32 MOA circle only. Do not get the 407K, which is dot only. That's absolutely ridiculous. You're not going to be able to come out of holster and find the dot fast enough. Now I do use the dot to zero it in, right, and then I switch back to the 32 MOA circle only. Okay, and over here I got the third one. All right, so this is a red version. All right, so I'm up to number 3 now. Right, this one's gonna go on the Brownell slide that I have here. These two, the first two that I built, are on the True Precision slides. These were a little bit more expensive. They're like $400+, but they have some really nice windows, some nice cutouts. All right, so really nice. I love these slides. Happy I paid the $400. I mean, I would not have done it if I had the Brownell slide available at the time. It wasn't available, so I ended up going that way. But I'm pretty happy I did it because I really like those slides. Now this one over here was a cheaper one. Basically the Brownells is cheaper. It's like $220. There's no windows. But the nice thing about this is that the Optic 507K is going to fit right on it. Right, so it's just going to go straight on it. You don't have to do any modifications. With the True Precision slide that I had, what I had to do is I had to because the True Precision slides had the little studs in the front and the back, so I had to grind out the studs in the back completely. Right, those little posts that come up insert into the optic, I had to grind those down completely, and I had to grind down the posts in the front by about 1/3 in order to get this to fit. Okay, with the Brownells, you're not going to have to do that because it is designed specifically for this RMS cut. All right, so just something to be aware of. So I'm kind of waiting to put this together. I'm waiting for Arms or Ally to start shipping an Alpine, a black and white Alpine frame. Because that's what that's going to be. It's going to be black and white Alpine. So I'm all set when they do finally get to ship that out. Put this back together. So with regards to this review, okay, it is kind of obvious at this point, since I own three of these optics, the 507Ks, that I really like them. Okay, so the reason I'm putting it out there, I'm now going to start giving you a list of complaints about things that I don't like or things that could be better, but keep in mind that I still think that it is the best option out there that is available. Now, why do I say it's the best option? First reason, 32 MOA circle. It will beat any 6 MOA dot or 8 MOA dot, and I do have optics that have those. I get whether it's a 6 or an 8, but it's one. The 32 MOA circle, it is a lot faster. You will come out of the holster, you know, and see that big circle a lot faster than you're gonna see that dot. All right. Now the other thing is that you also gotta be aware of that the optic, right, is gonna become a lint trap. If you look through the glass over here, you're gonna see how there's like kind of like it's a little cloudy. All right, that's basically the lint that's just going to build up. And then, yeah, pretty much every morning, you pretty much got to blow this out, right? But you're not going to get 100% clean. And then throughout the course of the day, it's still going to build up lint in there. So that kind of has to be factored into this equation, right? So having like a little 2 MOA dot, you know, if you're going to carry it, you're not going to see it. Even if it's a 6 or 8 MOA dot, not good enough. You need the big 32 MOA circle. Now, my complaint on that, on the 32 MOA circle, is that it is not an ACSS, right? Because here's the thing, I have this G26 here. I was carrying this around for many months. So let me show you guys what this looks like. Get behind the camera. So that has that big 250 MOA circle with the 10 MOA chevron. And then as you extend, you see how the circle kind of disappears and all you see is a chevron. But then if you're offline a little bit, you see how that circle helps you center it. Okay, so that's very ideal if you're coming out of the holster one-handed in some awkward position, right? And you know, that big circle, you know, helps you find that chevron in all these weird positions, right? That is not something that you can do as easy with the 32 MOA circle, right? So with this over here, if I'm coming out one-handed, I pretty much have to go to my sights to give me a point of reference to help me find that 32 MOA circle, right? So this is where it really makes a difference, you know, like trying to hold somebody back or keep some kid back or your wife back, and then you're trying to aim the gun one-handed, right? You know, that 32 MOA circle can be, yeah, granted, if you come out of holster, you do perfect presentation, sure, you'll see it every time, but life doesn't always give you perfect presentation. Sometimes you gotta be able to shoot one-handed, right? And that's why you're gonna have to go to your iron sights if you have that 32 MOA circle only, because you know you don't have the benefit of the ACSS, that big 250 MOA circle. Okay, so that's my first complaint about the 507K. They do not have the ACSS option like they have on the 507, you know, C series, right? The 507C and the 507 ACSS. You don't have, you know, that's what they offer you on the bigger optic. That's not available on the 507K. So that's my first complaint. My second complaint is that they do not have the solar panel, right? This has the auto adjust, which the nice thing about the auto adjust, right? When you have this in solar panel mode, when it goes in the holster, right, and the shirt's covering up, it powers down, so it conserves the battery. Okay, why is that important? Well, you're gonna tell me that, hey, but these things have like, you know, they go to sleep and they shake awake. But here's the thing: if you're carrying the gun around with you every day, you're always moving. The gun is the optic rather is never going to power down. It is always going to be on. Okay, so if you have the auto adjust solar panel like you have on this version over here, right, on the 507 ACSS, what happens is when it's in the holster, it's gonna, you know, the solar panel is gonna sense the darkness and it will power it down. And then when you come out of the holster, you know, the solar panel basically sees the light, powers up. Okay, that is a significant advantage to this that does not exist on the smaller 507K. So when I carry the 507K, I have to keep it in sunny day brightness, right? Because basically I need to be able to shoot, let's say, in the direction of the sun, which is now that way, right? And I still gotta be able to see that optic, all right? So I gotta be able to, you know, I gotta be able to shoot in the direction of the sun and see that optic. So I keep it at sunny day brightness. Now with that setting, I get somewhere between 3 to 4 weeks of battery life. I've been through 2 battery cycles already with my everyday carry, right? So every 3 to 4 weeks, you're gonna have to change the battery. If you're carrying this at a brightness setting, that's enough for you to point in the direction of the sun and be able to see the optic. Now, I heard of other people getting up to 4 months of battery life, either by keeping it at a much lower setting, like a medium setting, or by powering. I have one friend that kind of like in the daytime he powers it up, and in the evening he powers it down. In the morning again he powers it up. I mean, I'm not the type of person that's going to keep going back and forth from morning to evening, changing the brightness setting of the optic. So in that case, basically, if you're doing that, yeah, you can extend out to 4 months. But hey, regardless of what we're talking about, 1 month or we're talking about 4 months, we're certainly not talking about 50,000 hours or even 20,000 hours with everyday carry. With the guns on your body, you're constantly moving, and it never gets a chance to go to sleep until you go to sleep, right? So only when you go home, put the gun in the safe, and you go to sleep, that's when your optic goes to sleep. Okay. Now that brings another thing that, you know, one of the reasons why I said, despite that complaint, this is the best option that I think that's available. Really important, the fact that it has the little side tray over here where you can change the battery without removing the optic, you know, turning it upside down and then having to put the optic back on and re-zero it every time, because realistically speaking, you're going to get somewhere between 1 to 4 months of battery life, right? So you know, and that's the reality of this. So you know, because they say with some of those other optics, yeah, you get 20,000 hours of battery life. Yeah, you get 20,000 hours of battery life if it's sitting in your safe. Okay, if it's not sitting in your safe, you're carrying the gun, then basically every 1 to 4 months you're going to have to re-zero the gun every time you change the battery. Okay, so that's a big benefit of having that little side tray. I mean, basically, I buy my batteries in bulk. I mean, I think they're like $2 a battery if you buy them in bulk, right? The 1632s. And basically, every 3 to 4 weeks, I know I'm going to basically pull out the tray, change the battery. So it's easy enough to do. But I feel that Holosun could greatly improve this optic by giving it a solar panel, right, that powers down and allows you to conserve the battery, and also by giving us the ACSS option, right? I don't know why they haven't done that. I'm hoping they'll do it by next year, but this would make this a much better optic. At this point, I have bought 3 of these. I'm not planning to buy any more. I mean, of these over here, the 507, the 507 ACSS, I own a lot more of these. I'm planning to buy a lot more because, you know, they're really good. I train beginners, and I can clearly see the difference on the larger ones, right? Because I have the 507Cs, I had the 507 ACSSs. When I put new shooters on guns, I can see that they learn to shoot a lot faster when they have the ACSS, right? Versus if they have just the 32 M-way circle. So I study new shooters. You know, what works good for beginners, first-time shooters, is also going to work good for experienced people under stress, okay? So those are my complaints. Basically, 507K is the best micro optic that I feel that's available. Oh, I didn't know what that was. I thought there was like a bear or something sneaking up behind me. It was the wind blowing the box. Yeah, I do get bears that sneak up around here sometimes. But anyway, the 507K, I think it's the best optic available because it has a 32 M-way circle compared to a 6 or 8 M-way dot. It would be better if it had the ACSS. The battery life is probably among the best out there. It's not what they say it's going to be if you're everyday carrying it. If you're everyday carrying it at a bright setting like I carry, you're going to get about a month out of it, okay? So they could really improve this by putting a solar panel on this. That's what I would like to see. But that all said, I don't think that there's any real competition out there. They're also pretty, you know, price-wise, they're pretty good. I think I'm paying about $300 for these. Sometimes I usually get them from Optics Planet. There's somewhere between $300 and $330. If you like the green one over here, I think it's a little bit more expensive. But sometimes you can get discounts. So on average, I think I'm paying somewhere about $300 or $310, something like that. But it's working great. Really like it. It's on my everyday carry. So like I said, I feel that it is the best option out there. It is a lint trap, so basically you gotta blow this out every morning. This one's clean because this one mostly stays in the safe. These are both about the same. I think they're about 2 months old at this point. I've never had to change the battery on this one because it stays in the safe. This one over here, I've had to change the battery twice. Actually, I'm probably going about 2.5 months now. So I expect in about 2 weeks, I'll probably have to change the battery again on this. So the battery is not what they say it is if you're every day carrying this at sunny day brightness. Okay, so hope this information was useful to you guys. If you got any comments or if you got some of your own experiences to share, put them in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys soon.